KG here on RBTV. Western Sydney Wanderers 0, Sydney FC 0 in the derby. We've got Georgie here. Georgie, mate, first reactions, what were they?
I'm extremely proud of the boys. Coming to a long pre-season and obviously with the new recruits and all that, what Carl's trying to do with the club. And I really thought Rhys Williams, what he said leading up to this game and leading up to the season, I genuinely believe in my heart that things are changing for the better. But a fantastic performance from all players. Couldn't fault them. Yeah, we could have got the win, probably should have got the win, but at the end of the day, clean sheet. That's what we want. So very, very, very proud.
Yeah, and Rhys did touch on that in his catch up with the boys around, keeping a clean sheet. Obviously, we would have loved to see a couple of goals, but if you look at that team sheet tonight, 8 out of 11 debutants for the club. What is one positive, other than what you just mentioned? What else can we sort of take away from this game, considering it was a derby?
I think defensively, the way that Carl set up the team, going with the back four, I think was a smart move. Had to. Because when you got lots of Lafondra, Ninkovic, obviously they're weapons and we know what they can do. But I thought structurally, even in midfield, I thought we were very, very good in terms of keeping the ball when we needed to and holding up the play when we needed to, rather than sort of rushing things. Up front, Hamed was a workhorse. It was a workhorse. Petrados, he'll find his feet, but his quality. When Rodwell came on,
he almost won it for us, huh?
That strike from Rodwell, if he can keep fit, then you're going to say Del Piero who?
Del Piero who? That's a big one out of the, especially out of a Sydney derby. That's a massive one. And look, we look forward to next week Newcastle. It's a very big game for us to continue on momentum. Picking up a point here is not such a bad thing, and especially considering how many debutants we had tonight. But what do we have to do next week? What sort of builds on the commentary you told us about how the teams performed well tonight? What do you expect for next week?
I think on the field, I think we're going to see the next few games to see whether this was just a one-off performance or whether it's going to be consistent. I see it being a consistent performance, but obviously we take the opponent as it comes, how they set up and what they're going to do. So I honestly, this is just unbelievable so far. I don't want to, say
jinx it.
I don't want to say first game, but this is. I think the club and these players that fans that come out, I want to see them back next week in the next few games, and you got to give Carl Robinson credit where it's due, and also he's the only coach ever since Popper that has actually genuinely cared about this club. And anyone that hates on him, come and see me.
Come and see Georgie if you don't like Robinson. But I've got to say one thing, though, is about the RBB. Tonight, the place was on fire. Not just RBB, but all the fans around the stadium. I thought they did an amazing job and the place was rocking, sort of like the good old days. We'd love to see that again.
Definitely that vibe was there, and hopefully we'll see a similar performance every week. And, not just against Sydney, but like against Victory, City,
fucking Newcastle next week.
Even Newcastle next week, but I just can't follow their performance. Probably a beanie, I reckon. Maybe should have come off at the start of the second half. Agawa, I'm going to say a big call right now, and I made a couple of big calls already. Agawa for me is better than Shinji.
Mate, you're making a lot of big calls tonight, but look, Georgie, I hope you're right. At the end of the day, it was a solid performance. We'll take the point right now, and we'll continue to build. But appreciate you taking out the time, and we'll see you next week.
And Paramount Plus, fix up your streaming.
Fix up your streaming, Paramount Plus.